Jared is a proud Hebrew, and he is planning to go to the Olympics to representing Israel and the Jewish people in a sport called skeleton. Okay, so for all of you who see this, this is a Star of David. The Hebrews like the star. I have a necklace of the star, and I've worn yarmulkes and kippahs with the star, and it's like a Jewish thing, you know. Like that's what we do. We wear that. So, I'm being annoyingly sarcastic, but anyway.
That's our thing.
Anyway, go into a little bit about your career. You can talk about law as well, but
Right.
give everyone a scoop on the Olympic side of things.
Okay, so sure. So the Beijing Olympics are in February, coming up, about 9 months out. How I got here, grew up here in Aventura, Hollywood. Went to Hillel Community Day School through 8th grade, Pinecrest. For high school, went to college, ran track there at Tulane University. And then, like most people, my athletic career ended. Started law school at Cardozo, New York City, Yeshiva University's
You
law
said
school.
Cardozo. Do you know Yitzi Wainhouse?
No.
I think he went to Cardozo. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
No,
I don't know most people there, but
Okay.
so I was there my first year in law school. Just quick story here. I had a TIA, which is a mini stroke, during my first semester while studying one day, and I was very, very wrapped up in law school up to that point. And then it was kind of like a eureka moment for me. There was a couple-month period where I wasn't sure I'd be able to play sports again, do anything like lift weights, play flag football, nothing. That was something after my athletic career at Tulane ended that I was very attached to, and like never quite filled that void. And then when it was completely taken away, it was like a wake-up moment for me. And I decided if I was allowed to do those things again, I would take advantage and go back to living out one of my original dreams, which was always to represent Israel in international competition, track and field being the sport I thought I would be doing it in. A couple months after that, 2014 Olympics in Sochi, Russia, I see the sport skeleton. My cousin gives me the idea to go try out. You know, it's not something the athletes in the Olympics, I noticed in my research, really grow up doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of pick it up later. So I was like, cool, I'll go try out. So went to Lake Placid, did a little workout for Team USA. They invited me back, learned how to slide for a week.
How'd you connect with Team USA?
Just through their website. They had open tryouts, so I went.
Okay.
They just like work you out. You do some sprints and lift weights. If they like you, they invite you to come slide. Most people, I probably started with like 20 plus people. I think only a couple of us still do the sport. Most people after that first week, really the first day, you know whether it's meant for you or not when you're going down slamming against ice walls at 50 plus miles an hour when you start. We get up to in the 70s now, but
You get enough kind of gear to protect yourself if you're slamming against the wall. How does that even work?
so the first time you're really under-equipped. They give you a skydiving helmet, which is a lot different than the one here in front of me. You wear ski goggles. They tell you to bring like kind of like I think I had like knee pads I just rolled up to my triceps because that's where you make contact with the wall. But really after that first hit, they kind of get pushed down, and then it's just skin on ice at that point pretty much. So you definitely take a beating.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, my arms, I'll send you pictures. They're just completely black.
We'll post them.
Yeah. But I liked it. And I decided, though, I would be a good Jewish boy, go back, finish school, ended up passing the bar in Florida and New York. And then I went back for my first rookie season, Team USA, and I ended up staying in their program for like 3 developmental years, we'll call it. I wasn't racing internationally or anything. And then I decided that I would live out my dream and join Israel's team, and I did that 2 seasons ago, so this will be my 3rd season coming up.
That's awesome. So how do you join the team if Israel's team is in America? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it was founded by American Jews, and you make Aliyah, and then you get approval from, in my case, if you were in another program before I was in Team USA, they approved for me to switch to Israel's team, and that was it.
Okay, but you would be making Aliyah technically if you were to join that team? Like, how would that work?
Yeah, so I did before I started sliding for Israel.
Okay.
So 2 summers ago I made Aliyah. As an athlete, the rules are a little different, so I was able to come back here and train, and this is where I do my summer training, and then obviously during the winter I'm going where the ice is.
Okay, but do you plan on living there at some point?
I'd like to. That was always, even outside of this, it's always been a dream of mine to at least live a good portion of my time in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
It's, there's nothing like being there, just the connection that you don't get anywhere else as a Jew. So, yeah, it's hard while doing this to actually do it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not practical for training purposes and fundraising and working and everything I need to do. But eventually, when I retire from this, I'll try to spend a lot more time out there.
Okay, phenomenal. I wanted to just start something off right away because it's important. Joey was mentioning that there's about 40K needed to kind of get the program going. Do you want to kind of go into that?
Sure. So each season cost me about $43,000. Coaches, whether here it's my sprint coach, my on-ice coach. The equipment's very expensive in the sport. My sled, 6,000 euros. And I have other parts I need to replace every year that cost about 600 each. The helmet, obviously, shoes. Most expenses come with the rental cars, the flights, the baggage fees. So that adds up to into the 40,000s consistently every year. Unfortunately, Israel's National Olympic Committee gives us very limited support. It's like 4,000 shekels, which is something. It helps, but most of the way I cover my costs is by working during the summer as a lawyer or private fundraising. Luckily, I have a lot of really, really supportive people in the community here mostly, and kind of all over the country that help out. I have a GoFundMe that I just launched last week to help for this.
So how far in are you? Like realistically, how much do you need to get the ball rolling?
Okay. So yeah, there's obviously two ways to do it. You could go and half-ass it and not really, and have shortcuts and not really get everything you need. But it's so competitive and the stakes are super high this year that it's not a good thing to be doing. So right now, I've in the first week, people have been incredible, but I'm still it'd be very helpful to have another $30,000 or so. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
You have a GoFundMe, so I'm going to attach the link, and I'll even put the link on the episode, meaning on the video itself.
Right.
Like right now, we'll just throw it in there.
Awesome.
So guys, if you can, even if it's $18, $20, if you're Jewish and you want somebody representing Israel and Jewish people in the Olympics, which is extremely important because not Jews haven't always been known to be the most athletic.
Yeah, we're trying to change that.
We're trying to change that, and in the past, it really is changing in the NBA and the UFC and skeleton and other Olympics and gymnastics and in there was an American girl in figure skating. There's definitely, it's becoming more prominent.